Hello, hope everything is well with you and your family and your life. Today, we're going to talk about the method called Ho'oponopono, which is somehow based on the perception that life is actually a mirror, which is mirroring our inner content. And I remind you to download the PDF file, which has a lot of this information, not always all of it, but a lot. Let's refer very briefly to quantum physics again. And we could actually create a quantum philosophy or a quantum psychology around that, which that's sort of stretching it, but that's what we have done here in Greece. And when I get time, I'll try to translate that into English. Famous physicist Richard Feynman says, I think I can say with certainty that no one really understands quantum physics. That means we can't really understand how it's possible to be true. And Niels Bohr, the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1922, says those who are not shocked when they hear for the first time about quantum theory have probably not understood it, because what they're saying is that it's a very different world than what we imagined, especially based on Newtonian physics. In Newtonian physics, we would expect that if we're shooting photons or electrons through two small splits, that we would have just two lines. But what happened was when there were no observers, we had many lines. And when there were observers, we had two lines. So the only conclusion they could come to was that these photons or electrons were actually waves and became particles in space and time only when there was an observer. For example, we might go back to this, that this basketball, this supposedly here, one basketball, this is from the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? You can download it from the internet. And that when there's no observer, the basketball could be in many places. Now, this is not true of the physical world that for large objects. The quantum theory has to do with very small particles. But let's just say it's like that. And so this basketball could be just about anywhere until she turns around and looks at it. And then it takes a specific position in time and space. Now, that's probably stretching things to a certain degree, but I wanted to take that and correlate it and expand it so that we understand that we are affecting everyone and everything that we see. There's nothing in our lives that we are not affecting in some way, especially by our beliefs and emotions. And it's a law of physics that we cannot observe something without affecting it. So we're affecting our parents and our children and our spouses and our bodies and our economic situation and certainly our health. So the question here comes, and we may have already talked about this, but I think it's a very important question. Why do different things happen to different people, and especially in the childhood years? Now, one explanation by a minority of humanity is that there is chance, there is chaos. There are no laws, no spiritual laws, and there is no reason why anything happens to anyone. There's no greater plan. There's nothing to learn. There's no evolution. So there are some people that believe in chaos, in chance, that there is no divine being, there is no reason for living. We're just simply here and there's no real purpose. The second explanation, which is given by most people, especially in Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, is that it's God's will, that there is a higher cause for what is happening, and there is this being, which we call God, which is deciding what needs to happen to each person, regardless of what this person may have done. In fact, these three religions don't believe that someone can do something before they're born because they're not believing in reincarnation. So the question is, well, how is this God choosing who's going to be born with a serious illness or with non-functioning legs or arms or serious mental problems, or in a family where they will be beaten or sexually abused, and who is going to be born into the opposite of all of these, into a very pleasant reality. And these two previous explanations somehow offend my sense of justice. Now, I always say, don't accept anything I say just because I say it. But think about it. Both explanations seem somehow unjust. Now, a third possibility is that we are creating our reality in various ways. Now, one way is through the law of cause and effect, or the karma, or the law, Newton's third law of motion. So that whatever I do puts events in action which eventually return to me. You see the dominoes here, which will come back onto the person. Now, many people perceive this to be a form of punishment, but I don't perceive it that way. I perceive it as a learning process, that these events come back, our choices come back to us, our behaviors come back to us so that we can learn and adjust our behavior and evolve. This is how I perceive it. And also it's very important to understand this is not an Indian concept. It's accepted by all religious traditions. As Christ said, whoever lives by the sword will die by the sword. As you sow, so shall you reap. And when he healed the paralyzed man, he says, go, your sins are forgiven. So it's obvious that all religious traditions understand cause and effect, that a large part of our reality today, what's happening to us, is based on all of our previous choices. Now, these choices don't have to be in previous incarnations. I mean, choices I made this morning to eat a certain kind of food, or choices we have made all of our lives to work on ourselves or not work on ourselves, or exercise or eat healthily or not, or do some form of self-knowledge and understand ourselves or communicate more honestly. All of these are going to have different results in our lives. The second cause, in my perception, is what we call mirroring, that what we do is mirrored by other people. Our ego tendencies, our aggressiveness becomes mirrored by other people, maybe by different people from the ones that we are aggressive with. It doesn't matter. The mirroring is taking place in general with life and humanity. It doesn't have to be with a specific person. And then the third law is the law of attraction. So we have karma, that is the return of our previous thoughts, words, and actions. We have mirroring, which other people are mirroring what we are thinking and feeling today. If I believe that they're going to reject me, then they mirror that. If I'm rejecting them, they mirror that. And then we have the law of attraction, where we attract the objects of our strongest emotions. We attract what we fear. We attract what we feel guilty about. We attract what we reject. We also attract what we love and what we feel grateful for. So we are attracting through our emotions and beliefs and affecting the creation of our reality. Another form of self-creation is what we call sympathetic vibration or sympathetic resonance, which has to do with laws of physics and actually music to some degree. So if we have a number of tuning forks here, or there could actually be strings on a guitar or on a piano, and we hit one string, the string which is tuned to the same frequency will be the one that will be reacting. More so anyway than the other strings. So what is this saying to me? That I am reacting to a stimuli which are energizing or awakening within me something that already exists. For example, I'm going to be bothered by your need to know more than everybody because I have that need to know more than everybody. Or I will be affected by my fear of what you're doing. So there's something within me or within you or within anyone which is being stimulated, energized, awakened by what is outside. And then we experience that. a classic example here in Greece is that in the summer it doesn't rain. And so a lot of seeds fall on the ground. And then those seeds are awakened by the rains that start in October. And these various plants appear. Now, the plants were not created by the rain. The rain was the catalyst. The seeds were there. So if I am being affected by somebody, it's because I have a seed in me. And they are the rain, but the seed is within me. If that seed wasn't there, I would not be being upset or hurt or angry. So they are only the stimulus, the catalyst for what is already within me and is awakening by their behavior, by anything that has to do with that. Now, another way that we create our reality is by projecting onto people and situations and even onto ourselves what we believe rather than what is really there. So this is also a very important aspect of our creating our reality. So our reality is being created by our karmic choices, what we have done in the past and thought in the past, by the contents of our mind, which means the mirroring and the law of attraction, and also the law of projection, where we're projecting onto people motives, perhaps, and feelings that they don't have. I'm sure you have this experience, someone saying to you, oh, you're doing this for that reason, and you're not doing it for that reason. Or, hey, what's wrong with you today? You don't look well, and you're fine. So they are projecting. And of course, we are always projecting. So our reality is created, we're going to add one more thing here, and that is by our past actions, beliefs, emotions, behaviors, and choices, our present actions, beliefs, emotions, behaviors, and choices, and the way that we interpret what is happening in our lives. And we're going to add here soul choices. That is, as souls, we choose to learn various lessons. There could be karmic lessons or evolutionary lessons in the sense that we are choosing stimuli which are pushing us to learn lessons of self-acceptance, of feeling safe, or feeling our inner power, or learning to forgive, or trust, or learning to establish boundaries. That is, that we want to learn certain lessons so that as souls, we make agreements with life and with our bodies and with other souls for specific experiences which give us the opportunity to learn those lessons. It's not definite that we're going to learn the lessons because we have free will. So we can choose to learn the lessons, or we can remain in bitterness and feeling injustice and feeling unhappy and feeling weak and not worthy or angry or guilty or even hating, rather than using the specific situations and stimuli that we have chosen, either from other people or from our own bodies, or concerning our economic or financial situation or a professional situation. We can use this as growth opportunities, and that's what I suggest. Now, we may at some point examine this process of self-analysis, but not in this class today. But just understand that the stimulus goes through our belief system, and our beliefs create our emotions, and our emotions create our reactions. And they go through the four belief system: our traumatic experiences, our false assumptions, our logic, and our faith. So each stimulus goes through these filters, and our emotions are created not by the stimulus, but by our beliefs. And based on our emotions, we react to those around us. So others supply us with stimuli, and we create our reality with those stimuli. And we supply others with stimuli, and they create their reality, their inner reality anyway, based on their beliefs. So we are giving each other stimuli. We are giving each other situations, behaviors, in which we can either use them for the growth process, or we can, as I said earlier, become very hurt angry, and even become ill. So our real power is to purify our own selves and remove, or ask the divine to remove, our aspects that affect or attract through sympathetic vibration negative realities for ourselves and others. So we want to get free from whatever is within us, which is attracting realities that are not pleasant for us anymore anyway, or realities which we are allowing to bother us. So how is that happening? What is within us which is attracting or contributing to maintain certain situations which are bothering us, and we can use Ho'oponopono and other methods to get free? First of all, whenever we have negative emotions about anything, in some way we are enhancing, we are making it larger, we are keeping it in our reality by giving it attention, by giving it energy. So all negative emotions have the tendency to keep in our reality those things that cause the emotions. So the first thing we want to do is let go of all negativity, all ability, everything that we allow that, every emotion we allow that stimulus to create within us. When it's not creating any negativity within us, then it ceases to need to exist in our lives. Secondly, our beliefs are attracting. So if we believe that something is bad, or something is evil, or something is dangerous, or something is good, then we attract it. So our emotions and our beliefs are attracting the objects of those emotions and beliefs. Now also our behaviors until now attract behaviors from others which reflect those behaviors. And those behaviors may be towards the specific people from whom we are now receiving, or they could be towards others. We could be receiving from our children what we did to our parents, or from our spouse, how we reacted to our parents. Our fears attract and create realities, especially our fears concerning self-worth, security, freedom, pleasure, or control. So if we're wondering why we continue to attract a certain behavior or a certain reality, one possible answer is that our fear is attracting it. And now in the Ho'oponopono method, we ask forgiveness for whatever is out there, for whatever is within us, which is co-creating it. And so you can see now we're not talking about bad things. We're talking about our fear. So we're saying, forgive me because my fear is contributing to you, for you to behave in ways that stimulate my fear. So it's not like we're bad people. It's just that our fear is attracting that. We also attract what we expect from others, not what we expect in a positive way, but if we expect someone to be aggressive or critical or non-responsive, then that will affect what they will do. Our beliefs about this person are going to affect how they're going to react. And other people that have different beliefs about this person have not had a long history, perhaps, that we have had with that person, may have a totally different reality with that person. So we need to let go of the idea that we know what that person is going to do, because then we are part of the problem. Our doubts about what we deserve limit our reality to what we believe we deserve. So if we have childhood experiences in which we came to the conclusion that we do not deserve love, we do not deserve for people to pay attention to our needs or to what we are saying, we do not deserve someone to love us steadily or exclusively, then we're going to contribute to creating that. So our doubts about what we are worthy of based on false childhood programming will also affect what we're going to have. How we behave towards ourselves causes others to behave towards us in similar ways. I have seen so many people who are complaining about how their loved ones are behaving towards them. And when we investigate it to some degree, we're discovering that they're actually reflecting our own behaviors to ourselves. Because we are not respecting ourselves, others are not respecting us. Because we are not giving importance to our needs and caring only for the needs of others, then people are not caring about our needs. Okay. So our behavior towards ourselves is also reflected. Unresolved childhood experiences tend to replay repeatedly in our lives with our spouse, with our children, with friends, until we manage to heal them. If we felt rejection, we somehow continue to attract rejection or abandonment, whatever that may be, or being harmed by others, until we heal those childhood experiences so that we cease attracting what is still alive within us. The roles that we play also tend to attract different behaviors. You know, if we're playing the victim, the intimidator, the teacher, no one likes to have a teacher in their lives, the parent, and we play that also with our spouse and with our own parents, the child, the intelligent one, the righteous one. No one wants to keep company with the intelligent and the righteous one. The rebel, the strong one without needs, so they don't really care about our needs because we're telling them we don't have needs. The just one, the correct one, the good person, the one who is responsible for everything, the server, the weak one, the spiritual person, the judge, the aloof one, the critic, or the interrogator. Now, there's a difference between being good and being strong and being in the role of the good and the role of the strong. In the role, we're doing that and we want others to see us that way because we feel that then we gain self-worth. We can be strong without being in the role of the strong one. We can be good without being in the role of the good one. Those needs and attachments that are limiting our peace, happiness, and love or evolution may reflect in various situations and behaviors so that we can have the opportunity to free ourselves from them. So if it's time in our evolutionary process to get free from a certain attachment, then the people around us or life itself will not allow that attachment to be fulfilled. And now we have the choice of being unhappy or angry or learning to be happy even when that attachment is not being fulfilled. So quite often we have these situations where it's simply time to let go of being attached to what other people think about us or our appearance or certain professional or economic situation and just feel our own self-worth within ourselves. Our tendency to feel guilty attracts behaviors and situations that allow us to see that part of ourselves that's feeling that guilt and let go of the illusion that we are actually guilty. Now, you probably have not heard that as a child, that you're not actually guilty, and that takes a lot of explanation. And we're going to work on that in a future class. I'm not saying that we're not behaving in unjust ways. We may be doing injustice to people, but we're going to have to understand the true nature of guilt and how we can deal with that. But we will attract what we feel guilty about. And others will see that and use it. And there will be a lot of emotional blackmail around that. We bring into our lives whatever we criticize, judge, reject, or have prejudice perceptions of. Okay, just so that we can have contact with that and let go of it. I remember I had the tendency for many years, there's still a small part of me that continues to do that. I criticize when people double park or park in ways that obstruct others from living their lives. I don't know why I gave so much importance to this. But then one day, after observing myself doing this for a number of years, I stopped and parked and had to go into a store to do something. And I checked. I waited to see, can a truck go by? and the truck was able to go by. And I was in the store for about 10 minutes. When I came out, there was a bus behind my car which could not pass. And another 20 cars behind them, all shouting at me angrily, how could I possibly have stopped the traffic in the way that I parked? So what I was criticizing came back to me. And I thought I was okay. So we attract what we criticize, what we judge, what we reject also. We attract whatever causes us to feel jealousy, pain, anger, bitterness, or injustice, simply as opportunities to work on those situations. And eventually, we're going to work on specific emotions. How can we let go of specific emotions, which are preventing our health, our happiness, our peace, and our love for others and for ourselves? We attract whatever we cannot forgive in others or in ourselves. So whatever I can't forgive, I will attract again and again and again until I learn to forgive it. And this has to do also with the others and also forgiving ourselves. When we compare ourselves to others, we bring them into our reality. And this happens more so when we compare ourselves negatively and feel that we lose our self-worth. And so we become aware of people that do things better than us. And obviously, they're going to be there, whatever we do. And we tend to attract them into our reality through our tendency to compare. Our inner conflicts and self-doubt attract situations in which people reflect one aspect of ourselves or another aspect. And in these situations, we get upset because we feel that the other person is being critical towards us or upsetting us, when the fact is that the only reason we're giving any energy to what they're saying is that there is a part of our own selves which agrees with them. And these are called inner conflicts. In fact, I'm going to do a totally another seminar only on inner conflicts. It's a very important seminar, which we will do in the future. It won't be part of this one. When we fail to communicate our needs in an effective way, which means explaining to others what we need, how we feel when we don't have it, what we believe, and do it in a way where we're not being critical or aggressive so that they can feel safe enough to hear us. So some of the problems in our lives and some of the reasons we have realities which are not what we want is that we haven't done our job in communicating effectively, basically with I messages, and we'll do a seminar on this too, that we haven't learned to communicate effectively. Now, if we become accustomed to a reality, especially our pain body, our subconscious, our inner child has become accustomed to a certain reality, we can just regenerate that. Just keep creating situations in which we feel rejected, unwanted, unsuccessful, abandoned. We can just keep manifesting the same reality because we've become accustomed to it. And we probably feel safer with this unpleasant reality that we've become accustomed to rather than a new happy reality that we're not sure what it's all about and how we will be. And maybe things will get worse. And also we may possibly fear happiness. It's called herophobia in Greek. So when we fear happiness or abundance or health or being loved, then there's a part of us which will be participating in the creation of an unpleasant reality where we don't have happiness or abundance or health or love, because we fear having those. Perhaps because we fear that we're not worthy, or we fear that something unpleasant is going to happen if we actually allow ourselves to be happy. So this is a whole other issue we're going to work on in another lesson. Okay. These and other aspects of our inner world can very easily be contributing to factors in the realities that we are co-creating, and we're talking about the ones that we don't like. Our thoughts, words, and actions attract certain responses from others and our environment. Now, if life is a mirror, the only way to change the reflection in the mirror is to change the image which is being reflected. If I'm looking in a mirror and I have a beard, as I do, the only way for the mirror not to have a beard is to shave my beard. So the only way for the mirror to change is for me to change. If I'm behaving in a way in which others are mirroring me, or thinking in a way that others are mirroring me, then the only way to change is for me to change so that the mirror will be mirroring something different. Now, the main method for this is called ho'oponopono, which in Hawaiian means to correct or make right again. Now, this is Dr. Yulen. I did a seminar with him about 35 years ago when he came to Greece. He was very gracious to come with his teacher, actually. And we learned Ho'oponopono then, but we really started employing only about 15 years ago, understanding Joe Vitale in the movie The Secret, I guess, was the one who brought it more to the West. Now, we can use Ho'oponopono to correct whatever appears to us as not harmonious, as wrong, as unjust, as bad, as annoying. Whatever we don't like, whatever is not as we would like it to be, we can employ Ho'oponopono. Now, as usual with these techniques, I have made small adjustments, never removing, always adding in some sense. Okay, so the whole thing is there, but I have the tendency, because of my 55 years of experience on this path, tend to add some things I feel are useful. Now, originally, the phrase was dear, and the person, situation, animal group, whatever is not as you would like it to be. Usually we say, forgive me for whatever is in me that's causing you to be this way. But in many cases, I prefer to say, I realize that I'm attracting, or that I'm the co-creator of this reality, because this is the quantum reality. That in some ways I am the co-creator. This is not something outside of me. I am a participant. And so I have to take some responsibility for this reality, which is not as I would like it to be. So we can say, I ask for your forgiveness for any aspect of my being that may be contributing to or attracting this reality. Now remember this long list of aspects that we just went through. Our fears, our guilt, our inner conflicts, our roles, all of those that we mentioned, and that you can look at again. And I have added this. I like this idea that instead of saying, or in addition to saying, forgive me, I thank you for all the opportunities for growth, evolution, and connecting to my higher nature and truths. Because this is what we can do in the Ho'oponopono. We can say, okay, this is not by chance in my reality. There's a part of me which is participating here. What do I need to remember here? That my self-worth is within me, that I'm an expression of the divine, that the other person has some problems, that we are immortal beings. What this event can enable me, can push me to connect to a higher perception of reality. And this is our purpose here on this level. And so I say, thank you. And then we can say, I am grateful and I love you. Now, the traditional Ho'oponopono just says, I love you. It says, forgive me, I love you, I love myself, and thank you. The thank you is to God for removing from us whatever may be contributing here. So somehow I prefer this. I thank you for the opportunities for growth. Please forgive me for anything in myself which is attracting this situation. I am grateful and I love you, and I love myself. It's important that we are able to get to that stage of actually at least feeling gratitude towards the stimulus, if we can't feel love, and of course always for loving ourselves. I now free you from the need to remain as you are. We're freeing the other person from needing to continue behaving that way. We're freeing a part of our bodies from the need to have the problems that it's having. We're freeing the part of our mind from tending to feel certain emotions. We're freeing society from the need to be as it is, okay? So it can be applied everywhere for anything. And now I thank the divine for removing from me whatever may co-create this or allow it to annoy me. Now just remember that allowing it to annoy me is co-creating it. Just the fact that I'm allowing it to annoy me is participating in that. Okay, so in a nutshell, thank you, forgive me, I love you, I love myself, I free you from remaining as you are, and I thank the divine for freeing me from all participation in this. So we can now perform Ho'oponopono for someone's behavior, for a situation which is not as we would like it to be, for a part of our bodies which may be not functioning as we would like, for a part of our mind which also not feeling or functioning as we would like, maybe fearing or feeling guilt or feeling hurt or angry. And we can even do it for society, which is probably not as we would like it to be. Now, a small clarification, then we're going to do the exercise. So in Ho'oponopono, we admit participation in the reality that we would like to create, correct. And we asked that anything in us which is participating in that be removed. Now, you don't need to know. I gave you analysis because we are dealing in self-knowledge. But the ancient Hawaii and kahunas, it wasn't necessary for the person to know what is in them. Just assume there's something in me which is causing this person to react in this way or this illness to be. You don't need to know. I think it's beneficial to consider some possibilities. Prayer is a process in which we communicate with the divine. We could ask for favors, or I think it's much better just to express gratitude and ask for guidance or ask for purification. In visualization, we visualize as already existing what we would prefer our reality to be. Ourselves, our reality, society. We don't visualize how we want others to be. We don't force our visualization on their free will. And meditation is a process of transcending the mind and allowing the mind just to rest in a state of peace and thoughtlessness, the lack of thoughts, and in a state of bliss. So all of these, Ho'oponopono and prayer and reflection and visualization and meditation are positive ways of healing our minds and moving forward in our health, in our relationships, in our spiritual evolution. So for much more, go to this site, www.harmonikizoe.com/en, that's for English, /, okay? And so there's always a lot more there. Okay, so you can sit in a straight position and be relaxed. And I'm going to guide you now in this process of Ho'oponopono. Okay. Sit with your spine straight and relax. Breathe slowly and deeply. Take a deep inhalation. Hold your breath. And with the exhalation, relax. A deep inhalation. Hold your breath. And with the exhalation, relax. One more time. Take a deep inhalation. Hold your breath. And now on the exhalation, relax. Now straighten your spine. Allow the abdomen to be relaxed. Allow the solar plexus to relax. Allow the shoulders also to relax, and the arms, the shoulders, the upper arms, the lower arms, the hands all relax. Now let's allow the jaw muscles to relax and the cheeks relax. Allow our eyes to relax. Now the forehead, allowing the forehead to relax. Now let's feel the top of the head, and let's feel an opening there, an opening to the sky or to the universe, or if you like, to the divine, however you may perceive the divine, with or without form. And let's feel a sense of peace. And we're going to perform the Ho'oponopono method for some causes. Let's start with the behavior of a certain person, which is not pleasant for us. Focus on the person and focus on the specific behavior which is unpleasant for you. Let's accept the fact that we feel these feelings, that our mind feels this way. Now let us realize that this stimulus, this behavior, is not by chance in our lives. It's there because we have something to learn by dealing with it. Perhaps we need to learn to feel our self-worth regardless of it, or our feelings of security regardless of it. Perhaps we need to learn to feel free regardless of it, or any other possible lesson, perhaps to define boundaries. But let us accept that this is in our lives for some reason, and we can use it. We can use it as a stepping stone to becoming stronger, less affected by the world around us, less dependent on these kinds of situations. Now consider for a moment, what lessons could you possibly learn in this case? What are the possible advantages or lessons that we can get from this situation? Now, if you can, see if you can feel gratitude for the other, for the opportunity for growth that you're being given. Gratitude, and if possible, love. It's your choice if you can feel love. And let us feel love for ourselves as we are. Now let us free the other from needing to continue to behave in this way. We free them. we don't imagine how they're going to behave. We just free them from that behavior. I like to imagine them becoming light in this situation. They're becoming light beings. And now we open to the divine and we ask the divine, whatever that means to you, to remove from us any aspects of our being which are creating the need for us to deal with this behavior. It could be fear, it could be rejection, it could be self-doubt, past experiences. We're opening to the divine, allowing the light to flow within us and to remove anything in us, any aspects of our being that may have been contributing or creating the need for this situation. Let's let go and allow those aspects to be removed. Now let's do Ho'oponopono on a part of our body which needs help. Let's bring to mind that part of the body and the symptoms that it has. And we ask forgiveness from that part of the body for anything that we are doing that may be causing its disharmony. We ask forgiveness. We express our love towards that part of the body. Experience love for that part of the body. Imagine your love and light flowing into that part of the body. And now we free that part of the body from the need to continue to have this problem. And we imagine it filled with light. And we allow divine light to flow within us and to remove all possible causes for this physical situation. Feel healing light, healing energy flowing into all the cells of the body, into all of the body, removing all possible causes. Now we can do Ho'oponopono on any situation in your life which is not as you would like it to be. Choose any life situation. Allow yourself to feel the feelings you have concerning this situation. Now let's realize that this situation is not by chance in our lives. It's there as a learning mechanism. It's an opportunity for growth, for connecting to a higher aspect of our being or another way of perception. It's asking us to grow and to change, to internalize our self-worth, internalize our security and our strength, our life purpose. So what do you think is the opportunity here? What is life trying to teach us here through this situation? Now, if you can, seek to feel gratitude and perhaps even love towards the situation for the opportunities for growth that it's giving us. Accepting and feeling grateful towards the situation for the growth opportunities. And now feeling love for ourselves as we are. And now freeing the situation from the need to remain as it is. Allowing it to become light. And now opening ourselves and allowing light to flow in us and to heal and remove any aspects of our being which are creating the need for that situation. Let it all dissolve, including any aspects which are allowing the situation to bother us. All dissolving. Feeling an inner sense of completion, of wholeness. Now let us bring our palms to our chest and take that position of unity with ourselves, of self-support, self-respect, self-esteem. Self-recognition. Self-acceptance. And let us feel the feeling of love for ourselves as we are. And let us allow this love to flow out and permeate the person that we chose earlier because of his or her behavior. Let's see if we can let our love flow into them. And once again, allowing our love to flow into the part of our bodies which need help. And feeling healing energy, feeling our bodies, feeling all of the souls of our body, all the cells of our bodies, all of the cells being permeated by this healing energy. Feeling ourselves healthy and strong and peaceful. I'm going to count from 1 to 5 so that we can come back to the normal waking state. 1, 2, coming up, 3, 4, and 5. We can relax our position. And open our eyes. So I hope that went well. I encourage you each week, if you are watching these lessons once a week, which is what I would suggest so that you can absorb them, I would suggest that you listen to the exercise at least 2 or 3 more times. That you do it 3 or 4 times a week in order to really learn it and make it your own. So, hope you're well and happy. Hope you employ this wonderful method of Ho'oponopono. It can be employed even without closing our eyes, in the moment, within seconds. Whenever we're being bothered by something, we say, thank you, forgive me, I love you, I love myself, I free you, and I thank God for removing from me anything that is co-creating this. 30 seconds. When someone is driving recklessly without closing your eyes. When everyone is becoming annoying, when situations are fearful or annoying, try it. It's quite beneficial. Be well.